Okay.
And it was cool. It was a great.
It's cool. Sometimes you need that.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny, but it was like it happens a lot when it comes to women. But I also got better with my verbiage, right? And I think even too, the more we do this, and the most important thing is getting our point through, right?
Yeah.
Getting your point across, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I can augment my point in certain ways just so I can get it across, I'll do it. I used to be very straightforward. I used to really push things extremely hard, and sometimes it shut certain people away.
Mm-hmm.
I had to figure out how to approach conversations in a way where it's clear where I'm heading at, but you don't feel so turned off from it that you don't get the actual message.
Right.
That's the issue with also comment sections.
Yeah. But I've seen some guys give the most perfect approach, and it's still, that
So
person still, is easily triggered and ready to.
Right. So that's when a question comes, right? What did I say? You know what I mean? Like, I'll be like, well, I'll think the same shit. Like, I'm clear. I don't see how I can get more clear than this.
Right.
But again, if somebody's issue is packed within so much trauma and bias, and again, a bias can be because it happened to you.
Yeah.
Or somebody close to you.
Yeah.
You have to unravel that. So I'll unravel it by, well, what did I say?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll just hit them with the whys.
Yeah.
A bunch of whys. Like, if you get to about 5 whys, a person will walk themselves off their own cliff.
Mm-hmm.
Because now they don't know what the why is no more.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why?
Yeah.
Well, because you said that. Because I said this, you meant that. Why?
Yeah.
Well, you said because the victim should know this. Well, why do you think I said? Why do you think that means that? Why?
Mm-hmm.
What did I say that makes you think that? Why? Tell me why.
Yeah.
And I'll keep whining them up to the point the person like, well, I just went through a lot and it tricked. Like, I mean, that's usually how I usually get past people. It's just I why them to death.
Yeah.
Because now you have to answer the questions and you have to say why to every single point.
Right.
So now you're hearing everything because usually the trigger word is for me saying be accountable.
Right. And, I hate to bring up this Diddy situation and Cassie situation so early on, but, and how? You said why, but how? And, the question I want to pose is how many times does it take for a man to physically abuse you before you leave? Right. How many? If you was in Cassie's situation,
right?
How many times would it have taken for Diddy to abuse you before you have left?
Right.
I think most women would have been like, well, I probably would have left off the first time, or maybe the second time. Right. I'm saying I'm not saying that works for every woman's situation, but ask yourself that. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many times would it have taken for you to leave an abusive situation like that? I'm just curious to know. Yeah. I would want to pose that question to women. How many times does it take for you to leave an abusive situation?
It's a good question, and I think a lot of them. So the average person will probably
important.
Say,
that's really important.
Yeah. Well, they will say though, like some of them will say like, "Oh, right away," or the first time. But like I guess I can understand the point from the outside, right? And I can see from both directions, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do think that people need to be accountable regardless. Accountability. Now, bear in mind that accountability can be different layers.
Mm-hmm.
It can be accountability of, okay, I got to this point. How did I get here? Moving forward, I gotta verify what's going on in my life that allows me to accept this. It could be the accountability of having a conversation with your mother back in the day, or somebody who you respected. You saw them go through the same thing, or your idea or your perception of love.
Right.
That's accountability as well.
Yeah.
It's just whatever your self-reflection that makes you act and move the way you move. That's the accountability aspect of it. Because we've all lost ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it's difficult for me to.
But how do we make ourselves not become? How can we stop it before we even become the victim? You know what I'm saying? Because I've been in a relationship to where I've been hit, and when I got hit, I was like, I left. And my mom had to like convince me, like, hey, give her another chance. Maybe but I was done because I know that what this could lead to.
Me responding back.
So how many times do you have to go through the same thing before you can stop it before you become a victim of anything. If you nip it in the butt early on,
Right.
and that's where I'm saying accountability is important, because when are you going to be accountable for when you didn't leave?
Right. Now, I would say you're gonna be accountable for after the act. So there's two ways, right? You can be accountable being proactive, like right away happens, I'm stepping away from this. Or you can be accountable for just the fact that, hey, I stuck around this for so long. I have to accept the fact that I allowed it, but that's gonna be after the fact. It's after.
But why would you allow it?
So, all right.
That's what we got to break this thing down and why would you allow? What is it? And let's not sugarcoat this.
Right.
We know why Cassidy allowed it.
Right.
All right. Let's not sugarcoat this. We know why Cassie allowed it, because you're dealing with a big time boss, high status figure in the business that you want to be a part of.
Okay.
But
yeah.
is that enough to, let yourself?
Okay. So use a hypothetical, right? Yes. If her energy or her reason for making her choices and accepting certain things was because she wants to reach a certain status, people with that type of mentality have a problem in general, right? So, the accountability aspect could be, okay, how do they get to that place? Mm-hmm. How did that person get to the place of being willing to accept certain things, or why do they feel like those things are okay? Mm-hmm. Maybe they've seen it before. Maybe they've already encountered it before in their past. Mm-hmm. Maybe they saw someone who they loved and respected go through the exact same thing and say, this is, hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Mm-hmm. Like, it could be so many avenues, right? But if anybody's initiative or willingness to get what they want, as far as vanity or some materialistic things, is when you're willing to let go of your morals, mm-hmm. something happened to you when you were younger.
Yeah.
Or something you've seen that makes you think it is okay.
Yeah.
So sometimes the accountability aspect doesn't happen till way after.
Yeah.
After you done got beat down a lot and realized my mentality is crazy.
So if we're trying to prevent these things from happening, what could we tell these younger generation girls? We would tell them to nip it in the butt as soon as it happened, right?
Yeah, but who's going?
We wouldn't tell them to keep letting it happen.
But, you know what I mean? But it's so I agree. That's gonna be
because I'm always looking at
the family.
I'm always looking at, a resolution,
right?
And the resolution wouldn't be that, hey, let this thing linger on for years. That's not going to be the resolution. The resolution is going to be nip it in the butt in the beginning, and don't ever allow it.
Who's next to them going to tell them that?
That's the solution.
Right. So, but that's still a reactive thing, right? To the ones who've already went through it, and then now somebody says, now that sounds reactive. But the proactive aspect of it is, who's the person that means the most to them in their life to give that information? It usually wouldn't be us or somebody from the outside. It's going to be somebody close to them. So I think it starts with the household. It starts with the family. It starts with the father being there, telling his daughter what it is, what it looks like. Mm-hmm. The mother, the respect between the mother and father, all that plays a part as far as how a person grows and deals with things. Because you can flip it. You can see a father being abusive to a mother to the point where his son sees it.
Yeah.
And those are the most important people in my life. He meets another woman in his life and he's abusive as well.
Yeah.
He should know it. He has to be accountable to the fact that, hey, you're doing this. You know it's wrong.
Yeah.
Morally, you know it's wrong. But the part of you allows it to happen. How did it get there?
Yeah.
But you killed her. You messed around and took her life away because you got so aggressive and so angry because you couldn't master your emotions. Yeah. Well, who were you looking at?
Yeah.
Who are you watching? Like, at the end of the day, I think it starts within the household.
It does.
You know what I mean?
But it could be the reverse effects as well too. You know what I'm saying?
I will stick away from it. Yeah.
You saw your mom getting beat up, and you would never put your hands on your wife. You knew that your dad was never there for you, so you gonna always be there for your kids.
Right. I mean, we don't. But again,
and that's the way I look at it. I look at it.
Right.
I don't look at it as, let me take what I've seen and reenact that.
Right.
My thing is take from the negatives and never do that. You know what I'm saying? Never let that happen into your life. But I know everybody don't think that way.
And that's what I was going to say. It's like everybody's not built like that. Because some people might be built in a poverty-stricken situation and become the rich as hell.
Yeah.
Some people might become from a rich situation and don't know how to get there without help.
Yeah.
It's all depending on the person. Yeah, and it's dependent on that person, and it's the person itself, and your upbringing, or what type of person you are, and how do you receive information. I could say I'm better as a man now because of the lack thereof of certain things I saw. I said to myself, I'm not gonna do this.
Yeah.
Or I don't like how I felt. I'll never make my child feel this way.
Right.
Or when I was with certain people or certain places deep in the country, I'm like, I'll look at the people's living. I'm like, well, I don't want to live like this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I've been around it, but I'm like, I don't want. So it motivated me, but for some people, they succumb to it. Some people are leaders. Some people are followers. Like I said, you can give everybody in the world $100,000. Start your business.
Yeah.
Everybody ain't gonna make it.
Right.
Because it's just not in everybody's mentality. We are made unique and different. I wish we lived in the perfect world where we could tell people, hey, look, you don't like how this feels to get hit. Nobody likes to get hit in the face.
Right.
But there's some people or their minds tell them, like, you heard of Stockholm Syndrome?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A Stockholm Syndrome will make an individual being kidnapped fall in love with their captor to protect them. Their mind tells them to, all right, let me help you get out of this trauma. And let me change those levels of fear to dopamine so you can just deal with this abuse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people in ways deal with that. Not necessarily Stockholm Syndrome, but it's the way their brain works. It's wired to strive. Or maybe somebody who's from a poverty-stricken situation, they'll do anything. You know what I mean? You reach that billionaire status. You meet a guy who's a billionaire who can change your life. You're like, I'm praying. Like, I can do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's horrible that we live in that type of reality or world, and I wish we could do that. And there's more programs and situations where people can proactively. But I think at the end of the day, accountability is still accountability.
Yeah.
It still exists.
Yeah.
It
Because
just
I can't see myself complaining about a woman that has, she already hit me one time.
Yeah.
And then it happened again. And now I'm put in a situation to where, I'm allowing it to happen, and now we're going back and forth physically, and now I'm left with some type of charge or something like that. I just think that, and I know that people mind don't think the way that I think. I'm black and white. I'm just black and white with a lot of things. I'm like, you know what? I don't know. I just I don't know. I nip things in the bud as it begins. I don't let it linger on, because especially when I know it can go. You know what I'm saying? And I guess I just don't know how some people can just let something that they know that's not right deep down in their heart.
Right.
Keep letting it happen, and until it becomes a really big issue, and now you're looking for sympathy, when it's like, well, why didn't you nip it in the butt in the beginning?
Right. And it's okay. We can even take that to a point of, let's say, the difference between men and women, right? Being logical is kind of part of our makeup as a male, because it's to be a leader and to move in certain positions, or even the idea of security, in any way, your household, your family, yourself, the people around you, we have to be logical thinkers. We can't be overly emotional. So we're always going to look from that standpoint for the most part. We're always going to look from the standpoint of like, well, shit, I know where this can go. I know where this can head at. I know it can go at. I'm not going to do this. Like I've been, I've dealt with it before. I was like, I talked to the mom, like, look, she can't do this. One day she might catch me in the wrong moment, and, and it's on me.
Yeah.
So I know how it looks. But I can even say, it's easy for us to say that in a way, right? So if a woman strikes us, we don't have the same level of fear. Our fear is more so of our response.
Right.
Not them hitting us.
Yeah.
It's what I can do to you that can affect my life.
Correct.
For them, their fear is literally fear. You know what I'm saying? It's literally this dude can take me out.
Yeah.
It's a different power struggle. When you see a girl try to strike at you, like, especially women who fight dudes, oh my God, I can't. Right. I can't. Like, it's like, you really think you can do this to me? Like,
right.
But their fear is different, and the way they respond to it's different. Some people, when they get struck or get hit, they retreat emotionally, or it takes them back to a point in their life where maybe they were struck before, so their parent gets struck, like they retreat mentally. They just lose it. They snap. They peace out. So I guess it's easy from the outside to make that statement, but I do think it is important to be able to take accountability. It's just when, right? It should be right away. It should be.
And
it should be.
I have 2 daughters.
Right.
So I can't tell them that, hey, I understand if, you might think that, no, I don't understand anything. Don't ever let a guy put his hand on you.
Absolutely.
The first time he put his hand on you, you leave.
Right.
You check the situation. You come and tell me, if you can, come and tell me, but check the situation and make sure that he never make that mistake again. I can't tell my kids, my daughters that, hey, I understand if you stayed, through all. No, I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't.
Don't let it happen.
Right.
Plain and simple. Don't let it happen. When it happens, nip it in the butt then, and make sure it never happens again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Plain and simple. And that's just my ideology about that. But do I feel sympathy for some women that, put themselves in those situations and don't leave? Yeah, I do.
Right.
I do, because I don't understand the psychology of them not leaving something that is not healthy, and something that has been reoccurring, and something that's probably never going to change.
Yeah,
so
it's hard.
It's
and that's
because it can get to a serious point to where somebody can really lose their life.
And that's the hard thing.
That's why I don't see, and then that's why I don't see how. Yeah, Diddy is to blame. Of course he is to blame. Of course you don't ever put your hands on a woman. No man ever never put their hand on a woman. And no woman should put their hand on a man.
Right.
But it becomes a point, man and a woman. If a woman is putting her hand on you, bro, you got to understand that if you decide to hit her one day, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
And a woman got to understand that, you shouldn't allow any type of physical abuse as well.
Right.
Under no circumstance.
Now, to add to your point, because you said something interesting, he should know better. Why didn't he know better? You know what I'm saying? Like,
he did know better.
Right.
He knew better.
So he felt like he can get away with it, or it's a power trip, or
he didn't felt that he can get away with it. He knew better. He just didn't give a damn.
Right.
He just didn't give a damn about the consequences and everything that could happen.
Right. And could you ever get to that? And that's what I'm saying. Like, so could you ever get to the point where you don't give a damn about the outcome? You know what I mean? Of something of that magnitude on a recurring basis, right? Like, you
should never want to get to that point where you don't give a damn about anything.
Yeah. That's why it made it hard for everybody to believe it. You're like, yo, you got everything you need. Like, you really. Some people step up like, nah, I know he's no way a billionaire. I'm like, bro, you don't know what a person's capable of doing. Secondly, that's why I always say I don't put nothing past anybody.
People on that caliber, I feel like they can do whatever the hell that they want to do.
Right. It gives them that sense. So
I can curse you out, and I don't care how you feel about it.
Right. And it's the vibrato about it's the vibrato. Right.
I don't care.
Right.
I can kick your butt. I don't give a damn.
Right. But did you watch
in the moment?
Right. No, so that's the thing about Diddy. The documentary. I watched the documentary on him. Whatever. Just growing up, he's always had that mentality. So he had that mentality before he had money, which that means that's a mentality he has to go get it. That's why it's called Bad Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about it. Like, people think about the name. It's called Bad Boy.
I was thinking about that.
So he's always. So the money didn't provide him that. It's a mentality he had. How? Why?
He was a millionaire. 20 years old, I believe.
Hey, he created a business while he was in college. His dad was a drug dealer, who was really good.
The power, I think he saw the power that money brought.
He saw it. You know what I mean? He saw it and he attained and ran for it. And then once he received it, he got it. So let's even say, okay, what is the woman value, right? well, certain women, right?
Mm-hmm.
Certain women who see vanity or materialistic things as power.
Yeah.
They'll become ugly for that power.
Yeah.
It was ugly for you to accept that about yourself. You devalued yourself for something that you wanted, and you made yourself ugly on the inside to the point where you accepted. And there's the kind of like, you know what I mean? And you know who? You know what? To answer your first question, the person who tells the other girls that is her. That's the person. The person who has that mentality.
I totally agree.
Because I'll never understand what it looks like. I'm not the type of guy. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't get it, and it's hard for me to get it because I never will be it.
That's why it can come from a man's perspective. You would never be that Diddy. You would never be that man.
Right.
But and I can tell you from that perspective that you don't ever need to talk to a dude that is a Diddy.
Exactly. I never could.
Because I am a man, and that's not what men do.
Right. But I also can say, you know, granted, even me as a man, I don't understand how it is to be that. I don't get how it is to be. No, Diddy. I don't understand how it is to feel like my power gives me the ability to do whatever the fuck I want. I don't understand what that idea is. I don't get it. I never will get it because it's not my mentality.
Yeah.
Some people just are built a certain way.
Yeah.
And whether it's whether it's based off of their upcoming or just their mentality, or some people are just born crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's just their mentality.
Mm-hmm.
You know, something interesting I read about, because I was doing deep dive on this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some of the millionaires in the world are autistic.
Mm.
They lack certain qualities.
Mm-hmm.
But the things they lack are the hindrances that people tend to deal with. Fear, the issues with lackadaisicalness, certain things that we have that, you know, a lazy person might have, they don't have because they're autistic. They can't attach to certain emotions. They don't know how to. Mm-hmm. They don't have the feelings of awareness of certain things. They have a mentality, what they want, what they go get, and they walk towards it nonstop because they can't do anything else. Mm-hmm. If you set that person on a course, they will never stop.
Wow.
They'll never stop. Mm-hmm. So, you know, again, I would never know how it feels to be that way. I had to make myself. Now, granted, I can even tell you, even from my personal issues or stuff I had to do time, you know, with me going through therapy when I was younger, there's certain things, like I was always told I lack empathy. I have issues with it. Mm. If I do have empathy for somebody, it's artificial. But I understand what it is to have it. Right. I just don't really have it.
Right.
My face doesn't show it very well. But you should feel empathetic in this moment. And I tell myself that. But again, I say that because, again, these people, we don't really understand their mentality because we're not cut from what they're cut from. And they could be missing something. People with impulse issues, people with porn addictions, people with, like, everybody has things, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Albert Einstein was autistic, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it made him focus so much on the things he paid mind to. He was a genius, but socially he was horrible.
He was horrible. Yeah, he was.
You know what I mean? So again, you know, that's why maybe a couple of years ago I had the more idea, like, somebody beat on me, I'm out. Now my perspective is, okay, accountability might be something that might come later, way late down the line. And some people take longer to get a lesson. If I touch fire and burn myself, I'm not playing with that bitch. But some people,
don't tamper with it.
They're going like, I'm going to try it a different way.
I'm going
to try it this way instead. You know what I'm saying? I think if we get better at understanding, like, the fact that, listen, there's a lot of ideas that we will never understand. And I accept it now. Certain things I will never understand. Yeah. I just know the answer to most things is at some point accountability has to exist. Yeah. And her accountability could be not only the fact that she got her ass up out of there, but also could be her stepping forward one day and telling girls, listen, I know how it feels to feel this way. Boom, 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 boom. Mm-hmm. I'm beautiful. Shit, most people I found, even women I met who are beautiful, are insecure as hell.
Insecure as hell, yeah.
Why? It's crazy, isn't it? Right, yeah. The most people who are most liked and wanted and, chased after tend to be the most insecure. How does that make sense? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You remember Miss America, I believe?
Right.
She committed suicide. She was beautiful, And what was she going through at that time? You know what I'm saying? You're the most beautiful, one of the most beautiful women on the planet. Great career, good job. What happened? Robin
Williams. Happiest comedian.
Yeah.
Mental issues. That guy made you smile on camera. He was he just made you laugh.
Yeah.
Unhappy. Most comedians have a dark past. But they find a way to use their pain and make it funny. That's why they have a certain way of approaching conversations they'll play with the most craziest stuff.
Yeah.
And somehow make it funny. And you're like, am I laughing at this right now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But again, that's no different than me saying like the autistic situation. Having a certain past allows them to be a certain thing. So I think these people or these women, I think at the end of the day, the proactive approach is a two-way street, is in the family, in the household. And then if they're a person of that type of kilt and they went through it, they need to step forward and lead.
So what you're telling me is that both Cassie and P. Diddy needs help. They need therapy.
Yes.
But they're looking at locking P. Diddy up.
Accountability. Still your choices you made. Because he's smart enough to still know what's wrong or right.
But he needs therapy.
He does, in jail. Here's the thing, though. His impulses. His impulses. Because, matter of fact, you met some police officers and you're like, damn, bro, like, why are you so overly aggressive? What's your problem?
Yeah.
At school, they're a bully.
In school, they were bully. They were bully.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You became that because of this. Some people, if you give them money, they're gonna be.
It's revenge.
They're gonna be the worst person.
It's revenge.
So I feel like at the end of the day, it's like, listen, you're still a threat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you get your help because you still know right or wrong. Your impulses allow you to ignore it because you don't have the fear of it.
Yeah.
But you still know. As I told you, I have an issue with empathy. I've had that. I've been told that in all my jobs, everywhere. Even the job I'm at right now, they're like, I say I'm working on it. I'm working on this. I'm not really the happy-go-lucky guy all the time. But I understand it enough to know, like, all right, I'm doing it. I can check myself enough to say I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Diddy knows he's wrong.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have the impulses. He lacks the discipline for those impulses.
Okay.
That's why he needs to be where he's at, because he made choices that. Well, I can't even say with the Cassie situation because whatever. But whatever comes out, it's gonna come out. You know what I mean?
But what about those people that don't have to answer to the bad decisions that they're making? Because he's not the only one.
Right.
He's just the only one being exposed. But there's many other people that need to answer for the mistakes that they're making. They need therapy as well.
Yeah, well, I think
but
in general, everybody they're not getting caught. They're not getting caught, and they might not get a chance to get it.
The rest of their life needing therapy and having this issue that needs to be looked at, but they're not on the front line the way Diddy is.
They're not. And those are specific to those individual situations.
And they help Diddy. They help Diddy with this. They need to be penalized as well.
Yep. I think everybody, even the people who accepted
Miami, it. She helped bring some girls in. I heard from the report that she even helped try to get, one of the producers to, trying to soften him up to go in the room with men. What issue do she have? Do she have an issue?
Yep, her upbringing. You see her mama?
Money.
Her upbringing, city girls, that city girl mentality, which destroys a lot of our girls' mentalities as it is. It's that mentality. Yeah. She has a certain mentality.
Would do anything.
But she says it, though. Ain't like she lies about it. She tells what it meant. She says clear. She's dead serious about her mentality. She's dead serious. Some people be lying. You know what? We gotta get these girls credit. I'm gonna get all these female artists credit. These dudes who be talking, they lying. Yeah. These girls are dead serious.
Oh my God.
They're serious.
They can't get no more serious at this point.
And it's scary, but again, that
Sexy
mentality.
Red. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, but
the lyrics are so. I mean, we had the Trinas and we had the Lil Kims, but I think these Sexy Red lyrics is way more.
That's why she's touching everybody. she's like, you know, one right down the street. Like, I know a sexy red. I met her before. Like, everybody, let's go down town real quick.
Yeah.
You know plenty of them. You know what I mean? So it's like
that. The guy who owns a record label graduated from Harvard, a white guy.
I'm surprised. And she has
not
an engine.
From the culture.
Yeah.
Not from the culture.
She has an engine.
Not from the hood. He's using her as a freaking...
She has an engine. She has an engine behind her who knows what it is. And it's also... Shit, we can go there. I feel like a lot of that's directed to our culture on purpose.
It is.
To destroy us.
Come on, man.
You know what I mean? So why not think about it? Listen, if I was a evil racist person, that's the best